to make it like clearer. It is live. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another Self-Aware Narcissist Live. Welcome back. You got me, Mr. Mental Illness, and you got Mr. Ben Taylor himself at Raw Motivations. Follow him on all platforms. I know I'm gonna post this on all my platforms. So check out Ben on all his platforms. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. I see you on Twitter here now and there too.
Yeah.
I get on once in a while. I see you on Twitter. I was like, because Twitter,
it only pops up every once in a while when I post a certain way. I haven't really spent any time on it.
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, I don't know if I'm in a live chat. I think I'm in a private chat. Comments. Oh, there you go. What's going on, y'all? Welcome.
Hey, good to see y'all.
Welcome to the live, y'all. Lee and Ben. What's up, y'all? Hope y'all having a beautiful, beautiful day. What's today? Today's Wednesday, May 11th.
May 11th.
Good
Time
morning.
flies.
Yeah, good morning from Indonesia. Wow. Hello, family. What's up, y'all? Can you see the comments, Ben?
Yeah, I can see them. Yeah, we're good.
What is going on, y'all? Hope y'all having a beautiful, fantastic day. Jada, love your content. I appreciate you. Like I said, if y'all new here, like I said, y'all know me. This is Mr. Ben Taylor at Raw Motivations. He's another self-aware narcissist promoting healing, growth, and change on his channels. Like he's on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, growing Facebook page as well. If y'all on Facebook, watching this on Facebook, TikTok, everything's growing, y'all. So check out Ben. He's like I said, Raw Motivations, Ben Taylor. Check it out. Good morning from South Africa. Look, we got Belize, South Africa, Indonesia, the U.S.
Awesome.
Like this is worldwide, y'all. Wow. Wow.
I was throwing up real quick on Instagram that we were over on YouTube again, just saying like, hey, come watch. But I had to copy your link real quick.
Okay. Borderline. Trying to stop. Hold on, I saw a question. I'm new. There you go, right there. Brandy B says the two of you helped me through the transition of no contact. That's powerful. Power up.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
See, New York, Michigan, look, Canada, everywhere, y'all. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
All this from the seat of your own home, Hope y'all, Denver,
all
Colorado.
over the world. Yeah, I talked to someone the other day. One of my early morning appointments was Australia, and then it was actually back to back. One was New Zealand, one was Australia. It's like side by side.
Nice. What's good from Corny, New York? You saved me and my child. Bless you. There you go. Power up. You saved you. We're just providing y'all the information. It's up to you to take it and apply the action to it. You know what I mean? That's all we can do is just tell you the perspective of a narcissist, provide you the information, and you have to take action on it. Because I talk to a lot of people who don't do anything. They just take the information and just kind of sit on it and hope and pray that they're changed. Greetings from Texas. Jesus Christ. Thank you for everything y'all say. Thank you for everything y'all do. Everywhere, y'all. Goodness gracious. We about to have, so if y'all on the East Coast of the United States, we're trying to plan a meetup on the East Coast of the United States here pretty soon, y'all. North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, in that area. We're going to be over here in that area here pretty soon with the next, whenever.
Hey, once I get set up in my office in June, I can request like the big conference room and we could like have like a free like booking link one afternoon. And that way we could like limit the amount of people if people wanted to actually like meet up, just because I don't know how many people would show up,
Yeah, this is cool. I started following you because you described my son's dad to a T. Like, it's crazy. I'm currently in the no contact stage. So if y'all don't know, if you're new here to the world of narcissism, no contact is probably the best way to help you heal from narcissistic abuse and get away from narcissistic people, because it cuts off the contact. It cuts off the source of the pain, the hurt, and the devastation that pretty much, and the trauma that could come into your life from a narcissistic person. Okay. Here's a question. I'm still confused if I'm the narcissist or he is. We go back and forth so much. So what I would say right here is, I always say remove yourself from the situation, and if you continue to act the same way with somebody else, have you behaved this way in previous relationships, or is this your first relationship? I just feel like your patterns and your history kind of dictate who you are. So are you just acting this way because you're with this person, or have you been acting this way your entire life? I feel like that really matters.
Yeah, that's good. Stacy said a little bit earlier about like word salad. A couple people noticed. She said I had a video that came out on YouTube that was about like word salad. But sometimes I think it's like me. Yeah, I mean sometimes like it can be really confusing, like with narcissism, like how they talk around in circles, circular reasoning, all that type of stuff. And so it gets to the point where like, wait a second, is it me? Is it them? Like what actually is going on? But they can make you doubt a lot of your reality for sure.
Yep. There you go. Here's another one right here. Laura says, I'm going through a divorce currently with a narcissist. It's so much harder having a child and leaving because no contact doesn't really work. Yeah. And that's I think a lot of people, if you are dealing with a narcissist and you don't have kids by that narcissist, or you don't have kids with that narcissist, you can leave. I feel like you need to leave right now, because if not, you'll be in a situation where you have to deal with that person for the rest of your life. It's not just to the I got 18 years to deal with this. No. Nope. You got the rest of your life. You got a co-grandparent with this person. Imagine that. My grandma and my grandpa hate each other. They can't stand each other. They try to kill each other. So your whole life. But you can, it's tough work. If y'all don't know, there's a co-parenting webinar coming up here pretty soon though, on Zoom, hosted by Lisa Sunny. It's something you find a link in my bio. It's like a webinar. Yeah. Oh yeah, but his bio, Ben, look, rawmotivations.com.
We got him, both of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
She sent it to me the other day. I was like, okay.
So, Ben, can you explain Gray Rock for Amberlicious? Actually, for people who don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. So gray rock is the concept of where you become like a rock. You become so disinteresting to the narcissist. So the narcissist might be trying to get a reaction out of you and you don't react at all. You don't give them what they want, which is that supply, that reaction, that, reactive abuse, things like that. So gray rock is the aspect of becoming very uninterested to the narcissist. So a lot of times in how you respond to different things, not that you're agreeing with them, but like, sure, okay, it's not playing into what they have. It's not playing into them trying to get an emotional reactive response from you. The thing that you have to be really careful of is like understanding and knowing like who your narcissist is and how they react to this type of stuff, because I think gray rock works 50% of the time, because it depends on your narcissist. Some narcissists, when people gray rock, it just ups how much they scream, yell, and attack the other person. Other people, they kind of disengage. They're like, well, I'm not getting the reaction, so forget this. I'll go to someone else. I'll leave, et cetera, et cetera.
Answer. So this person, Nicole, says, no contact is intense. The physical and mental pain is unbearable. I always go back. Yeah, that's what that sound like. That sounds like the trauma bond. You're in the throes of the trauma bond. Mm-hmm. And because the pain gets so unbearable, that person who you're dealing with, that narcissistic person, probably just he just waits you out. He does what he wants to do to you. And y'all, whatever happens to the breakup, the discard happens, and he just waits you out because you always come back. So that means I can treat you terribly, and then I know you'll come back sooner or later. So when you go back to that person, you're pretty much saying to that person that you are okay with their previous behaviors. Whatever they did to you before, you're okay with that. You might not be okay with it. I'm not saying that you are okay. I'm saying in that head, in that mind of that person, they think you're okay with it because you keep coming back. You said, I always go back. So you reach out to him. You hoover yourself in there. So you were just saying, that's the way the mind works right there. That's really, really tough. And Eric Thomas said, use the pain to help you get through it, help you get past it. You recycle your pain instead of giving into it. Recycle it and use it to propel you to get past it, to get through it. You already went through it. It's gonna hurt regardless. It's gonna hurt if you're in it. It's gonna hurt if you're out of it. Which pain are you willing to tolerate? Because one pain goes away and one pain keeps coming back, because you always go back. So choose your heart, choose your pain.
Yeah, think through like the story that you're telling yourself, because typically you go back either out of hope or out of potential, and typically the story that you're telling yourself is actually untrue. So you get pulled back into a relationship that you think there's a potential, that you think there's hope, and as a result, you end up being with this person when you know in your head, hey, this person's toxic, but the feelings and the story you're telling yourself suck you back in every time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So right, both are painful. So choose to let it go, because one pain lightens up and gets better over time. The other one doesn't. The other one, you rather just deal with it. It's manageable pain. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. So he knows your triggers. You have to learn them well and learn a different way to respond. So triggers. Some narcissistic people will absolutely trigger you on purpose, y'all, to
Mm-hmm.
set you off. What's that called? Dog whistling. They'll set you off on purpose to,
In front
you
of
know,
people, yeah.
yep, to cause some reactive abuse. So you end up looking crazy in front of everybody else. So you kind of got to
Mm-hmm.
be careful with that. Mm-mm-mm. Always seeking the love. It makes you. Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to read these comments.
It's like a lot of comments coming in.
Yeah, I see it. I was just put this.
It's weird. It feels like it's like a different setup because like I can't comment. I thought I could before. Like I thought when you were in mine that you could comment.
Because I went on to YouTube and was commenting from there.
Mm-hmm.
I put up the site in the background.
Makes
Michael says, question: if someone has a lot of traits but always tries to self-diagnose the other person, then they always say you're the problem, but won't actually leave you alone. Oh, I'm a little confused by that one a little bit. Can you hop on that one, Ben? You understand a
Yeah,
little
so
better?
like a lot of times you'll have someone who's a narcissist that has a lot of the traits, or they are the narcissist, that they'll try to convince the other person that they're narcissistic. And typically this is after they just piss them off, or they just push them in a certain level so that they have reactive abuse. And then they're like, wait a second, like you're the narcissist, you're the one that's acting that way. But in reality, like it's them because they never leave you alone. Like that's what you're kind of saying there. Like they never stop. They always come back. They always like are hoovering you. They're always pushing your buttons and that kind of a thing. And like the aspect of like when they have a lot of traits, they'll, as they start to learn more about narcissism, that's why it's very a lot of times we coach and counsel people like, hey, like don't tell them they're narcissists, don't accuse them of that, because then they educate themselves and they flip it around on you, you know, using the same phrase, using the same thoughts of like, hey, like you're the narcissist. Hey, it's
Yep.
.com, by the way.
Oh, what I put .net.
Yeah, you're good. So I just noticed that. So like be careful about that, because the more the narcissist gets educated, like the more a lot of times they will try to flip the script around on you and accuse you, accuse you of being the narcissist.
Yep. So if you're co-parenting with a narcissist, they try to still control your life. Yep. That's where I'm at. My ex thinks I should be waiting by the phone when he decides parenting is too hard that day. Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
So in that situation right there, I just feel like again, y'all. If you don't have kids by that narcissistic person, male, female, and whatnot, don't have them. Like those are the biggest issues you come across right there, because every co-parenting situation is going to be absolutely different. So like this person right here, Memento Mori, like her narcissistic person is trying to control her time, or by just saying, but you need to wait by the phone just in case I don't want to deal with this today. That's how they control your time, because like they keep you from moving on. Like they just say you're on a date with somebody else. Maury, come get this damn baby. I'm gonna leave him on the streets. You gotta get up from your date and go get the baby, because they did that. So again, if you don't have kids by that person, please, y'all, please. But you have any experience with communal narcissists?
Not really, no.
So from what I know, communal narcissistic people are the ones that do a lot of good deeds, that try to get to try to cover their reputations up. Like if you get a narcissistic pastor, or a narcissistic police officer, or a narcissistic lawyer, or somebody that donates a lot of money to charity, so they give to the community pretty much, and they look like a good person. It's like, okay, you're giving. Oh, Ben must be a great guy because he donated $100,000 to the church. He must be a great guy. There's no way he's treating his wife and kids terribly. There can't be any way. So they get that external validation from doing good deeds from others, and it helps protect their reputation just in case something else comes out about it. Like Ben out here being terrible. No. Ben just gave me $1,000 last week. Ben's cool. That's what they'll do right there.
That makes sense. I've done, I think, like one video on YouTube about like narcissistic pastors. So that would kind of fall into that line a little bit.
They will fall into it, because pastors are always going to get the benefit of the doubt of being good people. That's the pastor. That pastor ain't cheating on his wife. And I've had one-on-ones with people. Like, I don't know if I told you this before. I had a one-on-one with a woman, right? She was also a pastor, and her boyfriend was a pastor. He was mentoring. He was like mentoring. He was like working with this couple. The couple had some infidelity issues. The wife was cheating on the husband, right? And the pastor was just like, "Look, y'all need to stay together. She gonna get better. You gonna get better. Y'all need to work it out." The pastor was the one cheating. The wife was cheating with. It was like, what?
Wow.
So he was woo.
That's crazy. Do you see the one comment on Facebook, 920 by Carla Livingston?
Yeah, I'm right at 920s right now.
You're good.
Carla Livingston. This one?
Yep. So I think she was mentioning, which I think brings up a good point that it'd be good for us to just touch on, about like we're both in a relationship, we both have our wives and stuff like that. And we're both on these platforms, like talking about narcissism. And, sometimes there's like two different things that a lot of times, I guess first thing is like sometimes people look at that and they're like, wait a second, like maybe we can make it work with our narcissist. Maybe we can like make it, fix them or help them or explain to them something so they get to the place where they're like you, where they're like you, Lee, where they're like you, Ben, where like they'll change and then we can have a regular relationship or a good relationship. And like the thing for people to remember is you can't do anything to make your narcissist change. It has to come from them. And so the reason why, we coach and we counsel, we tell people a lot of times, like 99% of the time, to leave now is always the reasonable approach at that aspect is because of the fact that if they're not willing to have honest vulnerability, consistent change, and to work on themselves because they want to work on themselves, not because someone else is telling them to, then the best response is to leave. Because then you're in a relationship with someone who's purposely and cognitively gaslighting, manipulating, lying, cheating, etc. on you, and they don't have any remorse. They're not trying to change themselves. And if they become aware and they're still doing those things, like there's no point in you to stay. So a lot of times it touches base on the aspect of narcissists can't change. And that phrase is out there a lot, but it needs to be tweaked a little bit. Is the reason why they can't change is because they're unwilling to do the work, to admit who they are, to be vulnerable about that, to get honest, to take responsibility, to take accountability, and start to work to implement changing their behaviors. And majority of narcissists aren't willing to go through that vulnerability piece to actually get there. So a lot of times it's not that they're incapable of change, but they won't change because they're not going to do that hard work of getting honest and vulnerable.
Yep, and 100% absolutely true. The only thing I have to add to that is that like I'm currently reading. I'm about to finish Dr. Ramani's book, Should You Stay or Should You Go? So I try to lean towards like when people ask me, should I go? I like, what do you think you should do? Because I can't answer that question for you. I like my thoughts are like my thoughts are leaning towards should you go? Yeah, probably because you don't sound happy. You don't sound like you're in a healthy mental health state. But it's up for you to decide. And like, what is healthy relationship? I feel like everybody's definition of healthy. What is healthy? What does healthy mean to you? You know what I mean? If healthy means a healthy set of communication, then you're probably not going to ever get that for that narcissistic person. So are you willing to accept this person for who they are? I just feel like if you're dealing with a narcissist, and like Ben said, they're not willing to put the work in, are you willing to accept them for who they are? Because that's what you have to do if you're going to stay in that relationship. This is who you're going to be dealing with. This person right here. Can you take that? Can you realize that you're not going to be able to change that person? The only thing you can change is absolutely you right there. So who, do you have to accept them for who they are? It was another good question I heard. Well, it was one I was about to pop up. So my narc husband has a problem with ghosting literally every few weeks. Do you think he could be living a double life? I'm 9 months pregnant and ready to leave this trauma bond. So in my mindset right here, I always say if they're not with you, they're trying to replace you. Ghosting, no communication, no contact, whatever they're doing to you, especially with you being pregnant, they feel like when you're pregnant, they feel like they can do whatever they want to do. They feel like you can't replace them because typically most people are like, you feel like they feel like you have you stuck. So wouldn't surprise me if you haven't heard from him and then your water breaks and he's in the hospital playing good daddy, good husband, and then you in this high, your emotions are running high, and then you take him back, but then he goes to you again. Like you're then trying to breastfeed. You're like, hey honey, can you bring me something? He gone. You don't hear from him for 2-3 weeks. So I'm not saying he's living a double life, but
that's what I'll say. I'll just say it. I'm like, heck yeah, he's probably living a double life, because when it comes down to it, like the wording, like as you think about it, like your narc doesn't have a problem with ghosting. He's probably amazing at ghosting. He has a problem with commitment. He has a problem with honesty. He has a problem with vulnerability. He has a problem with, staying in the relationship. That's ultimately what the problem is. So like making sure we look at it like through the clear light of what we're doing is your husband has a problem with commitment. Your husband has a problem with staying faithful. Whether that's he's cheating with someone, or whether that he's just elevating someone else, something else, sometime. What he's doing is he put something. And right now, if there's no cheating, if there's no other double life, what he's doing is he's elevating himself over the relationship, which is why he's ghosting and walking out on it.
Yep. There you go. So I got hoovered on Mother's Day. The good old holiday, special occasion, special event Hoover. Those happen, y'all. So what's the next holiday coming up? Independence Day. You will like. Don't be surprised if they
We need
reach
to
out.
have like a Survivor Independence Day.
Oh God, that'd be a good meetup title right there.
Right?
Yeah, somebody pinned that one. Survivor Independence Day. I like that. I love that right there, y'all.
We'll rebrand it. We'll rebrand it on social media. Hey, Stacy, if you're the one that I've talked to your husband, reach out to me on social media if you need to chat.
Did you see it?
I think so earlier. I just yeah. But yeah, Stacy, if you want to message me on Instagram or something like that, we can connect.
Yeah, she said that. So you should heal before getting into a new relationship. Believe me. Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely, yes.
Oftentimes people try to get into another relationship thinking that it'll fix what's going on, and it just means you're carrying more baggage into the other one, and it's going to eventually spill out.
Yep. And I also feel like because you haven't healed, I feel like this is my thoughts on this right here. Most narcissistic people cannot heal on their own. It's like that's the biggest issue with most narcissists. We can't like self-validate, and the self-love is kind of hard to come by. So we seek external validation. So that's why most narcissistic people, when you break up with them or you leave them, they move on very, very quickly because we need the external validation. It's like, I'm just like, look, I need this person. I'm going to love bomb this person and throw myself completely into this other person to help me put away the shame of getting rejected by rejected by you. So I'm throwing myself into this to not deal with the pain. You, as a non-narcissistic person, you have the ability to self-validate, but if you leave me and you just like, I'm going for a whole different type of person, you end up with Ben. Just like Ben's nothing like Lee, and you get a different type of narcissist. You're like, damn, what happened? So slow yourself down, heal first, because it happens. I promise you, you get back to back narcissists. You be like, damn, it must be me. I'm the narcissist, and then you're pretty much cooked right there. So yes, heal. Yes, thank you so much, Rosalind. Tap the like, share, subscribe button. Appreciate y'all. Also follow Ben's stuff, Raw Motivations, Ben Taylor. He's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, everything, y'all. If y'all on Facebook, check out Ben's page too. Raw Motivations, Ben Taylor. Asking the question means you didn't fully become narcissistic. Don't try and change them. Oh, Carla, I think we asked the question for you earlier. 8 months no contact. I got my first divorce here next week. Good job. That's powerful right there. Co-parent X said he is not going to do what I say, but all I'm looking for is compromise. Different rules for him. Yes, different rules. There's a different set of rules you have to play by when you're dealing with a narcissistic person. The double standards 1,000% do exist in the relationship. You can't do what I do. You don't get to get away with the same things I get to get away with. You don't get to do that. So yeah. Do what I say. He said he is not going to do what I say because you're not going to tell me what to do. Nope. I just feel like the best thing in that situation, you have to make stuff seem like it's his idea and it benefits him. That's why I just like you have to make it seem like it's some benefit to him, and you're not telling him what to do because you're not going to get compromised unless me as a narcissist, I'm not looking for win-win situations. I'm looking for a win. I'm looking for win. You get what you need. You get what you get. That's what I'm looking for. Yes,
Right.
ghosting is a huge red flag. And yeah, y'all check this site out right here. I'm just scrolling through the comments. Y'all see this? Check out Ben's site right here, rawmotivations.com. You can book one-on-ones with him. You can follow him on all his platforms as well on there. Ben, you got any insight on this right here?
How do I repel man babies without being a total B? So like really the aspect is like grow in what you learn and understand about them, and then focus on like where you're going in life. You know, focus on like your goals, your desires, and then if you have someone that's pulling you aside from that, you know, let them know, hey, I'm not interested. Like, you know, I think a lot of times people worry too much about the other person's feelings and the other person's like emotions, when really it comes down to it, like rip the band-aid off and just be like, hey, this isn't working out, we're going this direction. Like, if you don't like it, like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm living my life in this purpose, in this goal, in this clarity, and this focus, you know, and that's the direction I'm going. If you want to support me or join me or come alongside and help me towards that, that's great. But if you don't, like, you know, no skin off my nose. Like, this is the direction I'm going. And like, that's one of the things that I work with people on like a day-to-day basis, is like breaking out of the trauma bond, getting through detox, limbo land with the narcissist, and then working on clarity. Like, what's your visions and your values like moving forward, so that you grow so much that you don't go back to this person.
Yep. So how does self-awareness typically start? How did your self-awareness start, Ben? What's your self-awareness? What's your self-awareness?
I feel like everybody's a little bit different. You know, I think honestly there's an aspect of questioning, you know, for me, like questioning some of the cycle. You know, there's some cycle and there's some things I'm realizing like is not working, is not matching up. And then for me, it was starting to understand that the lies that I had, and the lies that were ingrained in my life so much that I didn't even realize what it was. And as I started learning about the lies, that started breaking down some of the walls, so I could actually connect with, you know, who I was. I could start connect in therapy and counseling, and then ultimately so I could start connecting with God. And so like I think that's some of the big aspects that really kind of come together. Like on it, when it comes down to it, honestly, like having a narcissist become self-aware and willing to change, I think typically requires therapy and God. Otherwise I don't really see a lot of it happening.
Mhm. So I would agree. So therapy and God is exactly why I am where I am right now. Honestly,
Mm.
it's just therapy, literally therapy and God, y'all.
Right.
But you can't. I was just like, you need both. Absolutely, you need both for any type of behavioral alterations or anything like that. You need both. You can't do God. Is God enough? I love God, but God, God. I feel like God gave people free will. You have the will to
Mhm.
choose God, and you have the will to choose therapy as well. You can add on to that. I want to ruin my narc. I just saw something on here. I wanted to. Damn it, where'd it go? I think I hit the button. I hit the button on it. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, I like
Uh-uh.
moved and I like lost one that I was looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you ever truly love yourself independently? I feel like this question came up. I had so me and Ben both had therapy this week, which is I don't know. Ben has therapy every week, so it's kind of rare we have therapy on the same week. So
Yeah.
this question actually kind of came up in my therapy session. What was it, Tuesday? Yesterday,
Mhm.
not therapy yesterday. It was yesterday.
Yeah, yours was either Monday or Tuesday.
I think it was Monday. I think it was Tuesday. I think it was yesterday. Was it? I think it was yesterday.
I think
My
so.
brain.
You
Yeah,
texted me about it. Yeah.
yeah, I think it
Yeah, I
was
think it
yesterday.
was because I think I said I'm going tomorrow. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
So my therapist kind of asked me that right there. She's like, She's like, how do you feel about yourself? And I really don't know. Because if I said I love myself, I feel like I will honestly be lying. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying my hardest not to unnecessarily lie anymore. So I'm just like, I feel like I told my therapist, like, I don't want to lie to you until I love myself, because I feel like I always feel like I'm not going to be enough, regardless of my success, regardless of what I do. I just
Mm-hmm.
always feel like it's not enough. Like, and that's why I just feel like, that escapes me. I feel like that escapes most narcissistic people, because the self-love and the ability to self-validate is, it escapes. And I told her, I was like, I don't know. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of what, she's like, what are you running away from that's preventing you from loving yourself? I'm just like, that's my homework for my next therapy session. I'm trying to figure out what I'm running away from, y'all. So
Right.
I got
Yeah,
my
that's
notebook.
good. That's good. I think it's like the same aspect for me in some sense, on the aspect of like not necessarily as much loving myself, but as the idea of like joy. of like finding like joy or like gratitude or like thankfulness or like appreciation for like the moment at times. Sometimes that can be like really difficult, and it feels like it's very like elusive to find.
Yep. So you go into like joy. The speaker, Simon Sinek, Sinek, he has a very, very good, I feel like he's helped me on my journey too. I just feel like he has a very, very good definition of the difference between happiness and joy. I feel like people's like, can narcissists be happy? I feel like I can be happy, y'all. I do feel like I can experience happiness because happiness happens in the moment. Joy is continual happiness. Joy is contentment. Can I be content with my happiness for a long period of time? I would say no. I just like I'm always asking what next. I'll walk across the stage at graduate. I'm like, get my hat, my cap and gown. I'm like, turn my tassel. Like, what's next? It's kind of get out the way. Hit 1 million followers. Do this, do that, do this. Like, it's always what's next. It's always what's next. Like, I'm happy in the moment. I'm like, yes, I did it. Okay, on to the next.
Right.
On to the next mission. That's a very, very stressful way to live, y'all. I'll just let y'all know.
Yeah, for me, some of like my stretch goals and stuff too is to like stack it and to stack like with like gratitude stack and stuff like that. So I have to sit in that moment a little bit longer and like try to feel and experience that happiness and that like joy in one sense farther than just in that moment, because otherwise like it literally is just like a flip of the switch, like just all of a sudden like next like in every aspect of life, and trying to figure out like where I'm going, what the goal is. And I think one thing that's kind of cool, one of the guys that I interact a lot with his material is Brendan Burchard, and he has like the idea of like what is going to help you be fulfilled, like what is qualified as success. Like I'll feel this way when I do this, and then like working towards that and then acknowledging it has been like kind of like a change for me that I've been learning. I'm not good at it, but I'm still learning.
Yeah, that's I love that right there, because that's how Ben putting in the work. He just admitted that, right? He's like, I'm still learning. That's vulnerability right there, y'all. And that vulnerability is like, I got chill bumps when he said that, because I love it. I literally got chill bumps, and it's hot as hell in North Carolina, y'all. It's hot right now. Yeah, so I got chill bumps when he said that, because there's vulnerability right there. Because he said, I'm not good at it, but I'm learning. You know how hard it is for a narcissistic person to say, y'all. I don't think y'all understand how tough that is to say right there. So this question right here, y'all: do narcissistic men love their children, or is it fake? I really want to know. So Ben, do you love your daughter?
I would say yes.
Yeah. So I would say yes too. I have 3 kids. I have a 13-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And my biggest pain in my life right now is the fact that my 1-year-old daughter gets a different life, gets a different me than my 13-year-old and my 5-year-old, because I've only been in therapy for 4.5 years. So my oldest 2 got the worst versions of me, and that pains me every day when I wake up and I look at them. Yeah, and it just gets on my nerves to the point where I just like, what can I do about it now? But I do love my kids, but I feel like that comes into the dilemma. How are they treating the kids? Because sometimes this is what I feel: narcissists only love the kids, and that becomes a problem in the relationship, because they treat the partner like shit, but the kids get treated good. I've had plenty of conversations with like, my partner's a narcissist. I get cheated on, I get beat, I get everything, but damn, he's a great dad, but it's just like, you don't get anything. Like, they give all the love to that kid that makes them feel like it makes them feel whole. You don't get anything. You get the breadcrumbs, the intimate reinforcement. You get that bits and pieces right there.
Yeah, or just like the option of like where they only love the kids to a point of what it does for them, of how it helps them. I think there is a difference of like us saying we love our kids versus the narcissist that's not self-aware or not willing to change. I don't think that there's that type of love, because they're not willing to either change, to work on themselves, or to treat the kids differently than just an object to make themselves look better, or to get something that they want, or to triangulate the spouse, like anything like that.
Yep. There you go. There's some other questions on here. So So Rosalind is on point. I love Rosalind. Messaged me. She's like, Lee, and we both do one-on-ones and whatnot. Lee, Ben has a website. I'm putting it in the chat right now. It's rawmotivations.com. You can look the link in my bios to book my website will be done next week. So you can check Ben stuff out, my stuff out. You know, we both do one-on-ones and things like that. But I think Ben, I think you answered this already about the couples counseling. You know, I think I saw you in the
Yeah, I threw it in the chat, but yeah, no, I don't recommend couples counseling for, when you're with a narcissist, because they use the education to be able to manipulate and control. Basically, couples counseling with a narcissist is them going to a place where they just get more ammo to be able to come back and be able to blow up at you, walk out of counseling, like go home on the car ride and be like, see, you're the reason I'm this way. They'll twist it around back on you.
Yep. So Randy says, my boyfriend says I have a communication. My boyfriend says I have a problem with communication, but he doesn't realize it's because of him. Oftentimes, it's better to remain silent. Other times, I'm left baffled and confused about the situation because he creates chaos and is very, very delusional. So to sum that up, the relationship isn't that bad if I don't speak. I've heard that statement literally probably 500 times in the last 2 years, honestly. It doesn't, like, if I don't speak up, if I don't voice my opinion, if I don't tell them how I feel, the relationship it's not that bad. But that right there, not being able to speak is actually an indication that the relationship is bad. Because if you're not being able to speak or communicate is because of this person and they're not willing to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Me personally, the second you say, can I talk about how I feel? I'm going to shut you down immediately. I'm just like, I'm gonna plug my ears up, earmuffs, whatever, childish shit. I'm like, I don't want to hear it, because when you try to express your feelings to a narcissist, it's automatically going to be viewed as criticism of how they are treating you. Because I guarantee you, if you came to him and you said, hey, baby, you treat me so good, he was like, oh, I know I do. He would absorb that. But you say, hey, can we talk about how I feel? Nope. No, because he knows it's going to be bad. He knows it's because of him or her. You know, women can be narcissists too. But like, that's my thoughts on that. You have anything to add to that, Ben?
I agree 100%. I think you touched on it really good.
So this is a tough one right here, y'all. I got hit 5 times and made it feel like it was my fault. That right there is, so that's when you cross the lines right there. Because so I don't tell everybody to leave, y'all. I feel like I kind of guide you down that way. I feel like I say it, but I don't say it. Being to tell you, being like, hey, get the fuck out of there. You know, I'm just like, I'm just like, what do you think you should do?
I say it more aggressively, I guess, on like lives and stuff like that. And one-on-ones, I'm like, okay, let's break it down and let's figure out like the truth. And then I have them, I catch them off guard, being like, okay, like if you think the relationship is built on love, how do they demonstrate love on a day-to-day basis? And they're like, they don't. I'm like, exactly. It's like, why are you in this type of relationship?
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I mean, like on lives, I'm just like, if they're not showing honest vulnerability, consistent change, like leave.
Yeah. That's what I just love. But like, I always feel like when it crosses the line of physical violence, yes, I don't even question. I'm like, I'm gonna like, well, I got beat up last night. I'm like, so I'm gonna tell you this: if they hit you, they might unalive you. They might take your life. They might send you to see God. We talk about God. You might get to see God before we do, if you stay in that relationship. Honestly, so that's the pain of being in a situation like this. Yes, they manipulate the therapist too. You feel like you manipulate your therapist, man?
I would say, well, not with my current one, no, but I would say in like past ones, either some manipulation, not necessarily like manipulate like the outcome, but manipulate the perception, of how I am, of who I am. And the one that I work with now, one, she can like see through a lot of stuff, but then two, it's like probably the most vulnerable I've been with like a therapist at all,
Yeah. So me, on the other hand, I feel like I don't feel like, so I feel like I manipulate my therapist to a point. Because I feel like, I've been in therapy since 2017. So I just feel like now I got diagnosed as a narcissist and I wasn't even being completely honest. So now I'm being more honest because my social media platform is helped me. It helps me with my honesty. So I'm just like, I'm gonna be upfront and honest. So I'm telling my therapist more of my thoughts. And my sessions are closer together for some reason. I think she thinks I'm getting worse, but I'm actually just being more honest about just life in general. But yeah, you can manipulate the therapist in certain ways. Like honestly, the marriage counseling question that came up earlier. Me and my wife did marriage counseling a couple years ago, about 2 years ago actually, and my marriage counselor asked me and my wife both. She's like, have either of y'all done therapy before? My wife is like, no, I have. She's like, I've done therapy here and there when my mom passed away, but nothing very serious. She's like, what about you, Lee? I was like, well, actually, I've been clinically diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I've been in therapy for 3 years. She was like, oh, cool. So you understand it. And then she just went on to the next question. I was like, nothing. You got nothing. Cool. Yeah, I was just like, oh, she doesn't know about narcissists. So again, some therapists don't know about narcissistic people, and they can get manipulated. Because I was nice and funny. I'm making the therapist laugh. I know my wife hates that we're getting an argument. And I make the other person laugh that we're trying to talk to, like the therapist, somebody she hates that shit so bad. Because I'm funny, y'all. I try to be funny. So. Are either of you in therapy? And if so, how's that help you? Oh, yeah. Me and Ben both are in therapy. Ben goes like weekly. Ben goes to weekly therapy. Ben is putting in like the super work. So Ben is putting in
weekly
super
now
work.
for what I said today. I guess close to like 14 months.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Ben is down. 14 months. You didn't have like, woo,
It's March. March was when I first went.
Yeah, you had about 60 sessions. Goodness gracious, you might have more sessions than I have. Honestly, honestly, I'm gonna go once a month, so I think so.
Been crazy.
I think you've been in therapy more than I have.
That's funny.
It's funny, ain't it? Because I've been into 2017, but I've only been going once a month. But I might honestly, I might be past you here. I might be going every day here soon. Right. Bex,
Narcissist is always a competition. Now you got to beat me on how many sessions you go to.
I'm going to catch you sooner or later.
He's like, now I'm going to twice a week. Beat that. You know?
I live with the therapist. I married her now.
I'm gonna heal faster than you. Okay, healed. What's next?
So, Bex with all the hoes. She did. One-on-ones are amazing. I appreciate you, Bex. I do one-on-ones. Like I said, Ben does his one-on-ones as well. Like, y'all, we bring the heat, like literally. Mm-hmm. Who's probably borderline? Massive manipulation. Hold on, I have some stars over here, y'all. So,
oh yeah, this is a good one. I'm glad you grabbed this one. So I saw this one earlier. So because I think there's a couple of people that got like confused with some of this as well. But like, yeah, like a narcissist can use physical harm. Typically when I see that, I don't automatically think narcissist, because like I know for myself, and like I'll speak for Lee at the same time, like there's probably an aspect that we're both a little bit too proud and full of ourselves to do physical harm to ourselves. Like, you know, that's why I've never thought of like suicide or things like that, because like I couldn't do that to myself, you know, that kind of thought process, that ego, everything. But I would say with narcissistic personality or those traits and them using physical harm, that does tend to slide closer to the aspect of borderline personality, because they do have the aspect of, at times, through manipulation, through like unhealed, self-aware, like borderline personality, BPD, has the aspect of them threatening, or them having like self-mutilation, or them having different aspects of either attempting or threatening like suicidal behaviors as well. So like that's one thing that I would definitely say like look into, because people that usually have that type tend to fall closer on that side of that cluster B category.
Yep. And I'll wrap that one up with if they will harm themselves, they will harm you. Mm-hmm. So take that with a grain of salt. Ben, this is one directly for you right here.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a really good song. I posted, I think, on my one of my Instagram stories or something a while back, and like so I have a couple songs every once in a while that I like post, but yeah, I think it's a good song, and there's an aspect of like that feeling of like emptiness in one sense that a narcissist is kind of like looking for and like wondering and trying to figure out. And there's kind of like, you hear sometimes us talk about like the idea of there being like a void, you know, and that's something that, you know, has to be tapped into, of like, okay, what's joy, what's love, what's fulfillment, and looking for that, you know, because I'm sure, you know, for instance, like I just got back from like 2 weeks of vacation. Like there's an aspect, like I was talking to Lee while I was on vacation, of like, there's an aspect that like some of the stuff that we do on vacation is fun, but it doesn't bring like that long joy. And so as a result, there's aspects of it that feels empty, of like, you know, what's it matter? Like, what's the purpose? Like, how does this actually affect like long term? And so like working through that and thinking through like, hey, how do I combat this emptiness? How do I combat this void? Ends up being something that takes a lot of time and effort, but it has to be really thoughtful of like, how do I work on, instilling joy and gratitude in my life on a day-to-day basis, so that it's not just looking at, okay, did this, what's next?
Yep. It was another one here. Hold
on. Yeah.
So this happens a lot right here, y'all. Counseling was bullshit. My ex-husband literally used everything that was talked about in our sessions against me and to blame me. Yep. And that happens a lot, y'all, because like they'll take like that's almost the equivalent of sharing a video. Like sending, like you got a boyfriend or a husband or something like that. You send our videos to that person, or wife, your girlfriend, whatever. You send our videos to that person, and they look into it, they follow us, and they just use the jargon that we say against you. You know what? You've been gaslighting me for years. I didn't want to say anything. I watched like Ben just put a video about gaslighting, and I was just like, it was fire, and like it to the T. You've been doing it to me, so you're a narcissist, and they'll mess with you. Now you're a gaslighting narcissist. All you did was share a video. So be very careful with that, y'all. I think Ben has some experience with that. What's the best recommendation for breaking the trauma bond, Ben?
So best recommendation for breaking the trauma bond, like in the smallest nutshell possible, is learning to engage with the truth and the facts of the situation. So like this is what I work people through on like a day-to-day basis, of where we talk about the relationship, or we talk about the triggers, or we talk about the aspect of like still wanting to be with that person, that trauma bond of like, hey, I know this person is toxic for me, but I still want to go back with them. And so we break it down of like, what are you feeling? What's the emotions that you're experiencing? What's the story you're telling yourself? And there's oftentimes a story that's there that's false, and whether that's something that the narcissist put on you, whether that's something from your upbringing, whether it's something that you're telling yourself. There's typically something there. A lot of times it's based on hope, or it's based on I blanked on the other word. Hope or potential. A lot of times it's based on hope or potential, that you're like thinking maybe they'll change, maybe they'll get aware. If they understood, they could feel like all this different type of stuff. And then we have to get down to like the facts of the situation of like what is actually happening. Like, where are the fruits of what they're saying? Where is the change behavior? And then oftentimes that realigns, we rewire the story. And that's what you implement. And that starts breaking the trauma bond. And when I see people who take that story and they use it like crazy, like they use it, or they're reviewing it every single day, multiple times a day, where they're implementing it into their life, that change and that growth and that healing starts off slow, and then as they keep doing it, it just starts to shoot up. And I've been able to see a lot of people grow from it. It's been really cool to see.
Yeah. Perfect. So Nancy says, I regret not calling the police on the ex after numerous times he hit me and threatened my life. Y'all, I'm gonna be real with y'all right here. Call the fucking, it's safe. Use discretion and do it safely. But if you get hit, call the fucking police. Especially if it's multiple times, because if you don't report it multiple times and then y'all break up and now you want to say it, you look bitter now. Nobody's gonna believe you. Like Nancy, like, hey, Ben used to beat my ass. It's like, Ben married with kids now, and now you're gonna try to sully his reputation. Did you call the police? No. Why you lying? Why you bitter? So y'all, if you don't do it now, I promise you'll regret it later. But of course, use discretion and protect yourself. But you will regret it later on if you don't report this stuff. You'll be mad as hell, because like they'll move on to somebody else, and you'll be wondering and asking a question like, "Or is he gonna beat their ass too? Is he gonna hit them? Like, why did I get hit? I should have. You'll regret not telling them then. He's like, I should have told the police on them. Like, y'all, stop sparing these people. I don't want to call the police because they have a good job. They had a good job before they hit you. That's how I feel. I don't want to call police. They have kids. They have other kids. They have other kids before they hit you. Understand? And if I'm telling you, if they hit you, they will take your life. I promise you. You just never know where a real narcissistic rage will take somebody. So if they hit you, I promise they'll. If y'all believe in God, you'll be meeting him soon. I promise. Yeah. So Ben is a Christian, y'all. He does a lot of stuff about Christian narcissism. So I'll let Ben jump on that.
Yeah, and I've got some stuff on there. I think for me it's along the lines of like my relationship with God, and like my relationship with him has opened up my eyes of what I'm changing and how I'm growing and things like that. Is I don't necessarily bring that into my one-on-ones unless people ask about it or they identify that. But my goal is just to try to be able to help as many people as possible. And part of my journey is going through Wake Up Warrior, learning about the lies that I have, and then also different aspects of other people in my life that help to like reparent my emotions, like different aspects of God that helped me understand some stuff that was going on in my life as well.
So who's pushing fear? Are you pushing fear? But you feel like you're pushing fear?
I don't know what that comment was for.
I'm not 100% unless I missed the comment. I feel like this person is saying, "Hey, this guy's pushing fear." Jethro, if you are here beating women's asses, nobody's pushing fear. Call the police on if you are Jethro's girlfriend, call the police on him. Yeah, I'm just joking. Stop playing. Do you feel like you will always have to go to therapy for the rest of your lives? Me, yes. And I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? I'm absolutely 100% fine with the fact that I have to go to therapy for the rest of my life. You think
that means that long term I'll always beat you at therapy then if I go every single week. I couldn't pass that up. Lee'll be at the end at his deathbed and I'll be like, you might have had 1 million followers, but I still went to one more therapy session than you did. Anyways, next.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that we both have to commit to. Of like, hey, yeah. like we need to keep putting in the work to better ourselves. We need to keep putting in the work to continue to grow and to continue to change. Because it's like, like Lee's been in therapy 4 years, I've been in therapy 14 months, kind of a thing. And like the aspect of like, hey, like his first therapy session looks completely different than it does now. My therapy session like 6 months ago looks completely different now. Like there's a whole level that's deeper. There's a whole level of, let me pull back one more layer and there's a bunch of shit on this layer too. So there's a lot of aspects of like growing and learning. So there's for the rest of our lives, I think like even if you have someone who's like perfectly healthy, like I think still therapy, counseling, like life coaches, people like that are really incredible because that goal is of just self-growth. And I want to grow, Lee wants to grow. Find whoever you can that's going to help you grow the best and partner with them because it's going to be really incredible.
Yes, it's all about growing, and I just feel like therapy helps me level up. I really, really do. Gucci says, if a narc has been trying to get you to react for a whole year and you finally give in, why are they unresponsive and will it last?
I feel like that's the calmness of like, boom, I just won. I just made you react.
Exactly. I got you now. You reacted. So now I can go back to silence. Now I can go back to be doing me. Because now I feel like I'm one up now. If y'all keeping score, I just hit a 3-pointer in your face, to win the game. So I just feel like now, that's what I said, controlling your reactions is one of the main powers that you have when you're dealing with narcissistic people. Controlling how you react to them helps you. It does help you live a better existence. It's easier said than done, but controlling your reactions helps empower you. Call the police, please. There you go.
Yeah, they want you to react.
Yes.
No, Vic asked earlier, I'll answer real quick. I utilized EMDR when I first started into therapy. I did EMDR for I think like 3 months, 4 months. I don't remember how long, but I did it for a period of time and it was really good and helpful.
EMDR? I haven't done that yet.
You should try it sometime. I'd be interested in your take on it.
Yeah. I did I've been trying new things. I did like a sensory deprivation pod like about a year ago.
Yeah.
I was scared as hell and splashing around. It was
that's weird.
That was an experience. It was scary. Call the police, please. I didn't at first. Then I did, and it's been very helpful with the restraining order. He tried. See, so the restraining order is important, y'all. You can't get a restraining order if you don't have anything for. Hey, I need a restraining order on Lee Hammock. He's just been a narcissist. they'll hang up on you. You have to have some kind of you have to document or have some kind of proof that something is going on, y'all. You really, really do. I hate the minors. So you have a cosign, right? EMDR is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I did some before I was with my therapist now, and then my therapist does some stuff like EDMDR. Like literally, she like there's some days I walk in and she's like, "Do you want to deal with old stuff or you want to find new stuff?" And we like dive into like a different way or a new thing to try to figure stuff out. It's kind of crazy sometimes.
Yeah. So I think this question was answered earlier about if your therapist doesn't understand narcissistic abuse, find another one now. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You absolutely have to. You know, so what is EMDR? What does the acronym stand for? Eye movement.
Eye movement something. Someone will probably throw it in the chat. I don't remember exactly what it stands for. Basically, like the best way I can describe it is it's like the idea of unlocking a section in your mind that helps you deal with trauma to a point of where when you get triggered or when you review that trauma in your life, it's not as debilitating, and it doesn't necessarily like get rid of it, but it kind of makes that trauma feel more like neutral as opposed to like it completely sidelining you whenever you think about it. Yep. It's not like hypnotizing. No, it's not like hypnotizing. There you go. Oh, you put that in there. I was like, someone put it in. Oh yeah, no, Vic put it in. Eye movement desensitization reprocessing.
Vic did it. Yeah, Vic threw it in there. Yes, most holidays with narcissists are going to be terrible, y'all. You know, some of them will actually go all out, but everybody's going to be different in that circumstance right there, y'all.
That's the goal. Is holidays are perfect because nice people don't be mean to mean people, but mean people can be mean to nice people. So like a holiday is like a perfect time because like, you know, I put a video up, I think like around like Christmas time or something that, you know, like the narcissist is going to try to come back during like Christmas time because who's going to be mean and say, no, I don't want you in my life during Christmas time. So people are like, oh, like I want this person. And they walk right in and like destroy everything.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna end up wrapping it up here really quick, y'all. So we'll take another few questions.
I didn't see what time it was. Yeah,
it like 10, it went quick. Have you ever met an antisocial person? I've met a few of them, y'all. I used to do lives with one of them, and it was an experience to say the least. If you're watching it, you still only 80%. But yeah, antisocial personality disorder is an elevated. I just feel like it's 2 steps up from just being a narcissist, y'all. It's a little bit more disconnected.
It's like sociopath. Yeah.
It's very it's more disconnected from that. The trees. What's going on, girl? How you doing? How do narcissists make it to the marriage phase? Meaning, how does the relationship get that far if they're so horrible to the person they're in a relationship with? Whew.
Oftentimes they're not that horrible at the very beginning. And even if they are at the very beginning, you've already told your friends and family that it's the greatest relationship ever because of the love bombing stage and because of the stage that you don't want to look bad for being in that relationship. And so you end up getting like stuck with this person. Then you think like, well, maybe it'll change, you know, after engagement. Maybe it'll change after marriage. Maybe it'll change after kids because they're promising you things that you want and you're promising things that you think, hey, this is going to create a happy relationship, a happy marriage, and it's not, you know. But the getting to that spot, you know, a lot of times people like, you know, think that, you know, they're stupid for getting that spot. Like, no, like you're manipulated. And that's why, you know, there's some people that like can't believe that they got to that spot, and there's other people that like judging other people saying like, you know, how could you get to that spot? You know, well, it's not like someone comes up and is like, hey, let me treat you awful and let's get married. You know, it's a lot more subtle. It's a lot more slow moving as the narcissist, sociopath, psychopath grooms you.
Yep. There you go right there. Latrice is a makeup artist to the stars, y'all. So y'all, she's a mover. But yeah, no, a lot of people, a lot of narcissistic people get married because it makes them look normal to society too, y'all. It just makes it seem like, hey, he or she, they are married with kids. they are normal human beings. They're doing everything. They're a good person. They go to church. They're married with kids. That's normal stuff. I mean, even me, myself, I always want to be married. When I was like 14 years old, I'm gonna get married because it'll make me fit in with people. This is how my mind used to work, y'all. But a lot of people who are dealing with narcissists, you see the red flags before you get married. But like Ben said earlier, you think it's going to change once you get married. You think because you add this extra layer, you add this, this extra step that is going to get better. It's like, once I become, Mrs. Taylor, he's going to treat me better. Once I become, when I'm Miss Hammock, I'm going to get a star treatment. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work that way, y'all. It doesn't. Adding steps to a relationship doesn't make it better. I think I just did a YouTube video on that very, very recently.
Yeah.
So we're going to take one more question, y'all, and hop off this thing. We'll be back here next week on Ben's channel. We're going to go live on Ben's channels, y'all. I'm going to put Ben's website in the chat so y'all can do one-on-ones with Ben. You can check.
We could have done like a 6-hour live just the questions we got so far. It was like blowing up tonight.
Yes, this is some fire questions. So this is gonna be the last one right here, y'all. How do narcissists react when exposed? Never seen that. Well, go call your significant other narcissist and see how they react. Use discretion. Put your bulletproof vest on and your fucking coat of nine tails, your shield and your sword, and go tell them that, because narcissists, y'all, in 2022, the word narcissist is absolutely an insult. It is. It's not. It's a derogatory term. It's not a term of endearment. You're not going to go to your significant other and say, "Hey, I love the fact that you're a narcissist." You're not going to do that. So it's an insult. So most narcissistic people are going to respond in fashion to being insulted and criticized. They just are. So calling a narcissist is a little rough. What are your thoughts on that one right there, man?
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of times they're going to avoid the value and, try to put it back on you, you're going to expose them and they're going to, you say you've never seen that, but like a lot of times whenever a narcissist get exposed, like they're going to try to push away and like completely just flip the script and turn back on you. And that's when you see like, the shame train start off, and like they're going to start like telling everybody like, hey, like this is how awful this person was. I'm the victim here because this person did this. A lot of times it comes back and they try to make it all about you, all about your fault.
Yep. So there you go right there, y'all. So we're gonna wrap this thing up right here, y'all. I know we got a lot more questions coming in and whatnot, but like, if y'all want to do, like I said, Ben does one-on-ones. I do one-on-ones. Ben is like, rawmotivations.com, raw, unfiltered, rawmotivations.com.
Right.
I'll put it in the chat again, y'all. Ben does one-on-ones. It's right there. rawmotivations.com. You can follow him. You can follow him on all platforms. He does one-on-ones. You can ask him the personal questions, and all the other good stuff. I do one-on-ones as well. You can follow us on all social media platforms if you haven't already. Ben is on like literally every platform, y'all. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and he's also tweeting here and there too, y'all. So
not too often, but yeah. So yeah, and like a couple things too is we both have in both our bios. There is coming up. Is it this month or next month? I don't even remember the date. There is coming up a co-parenting webinar. So like if you're with a narcissist and you're struggling with the thoughts of like, how do I co-parent with this toxic person, please go on, check out. There's a link in both our bios for a co-parenting app. It's like cheap to be able to jump in and be able to join like a giant Zoom webinar with some like big name people, some people that deal with, co-parenting period. And then also deal with abusive and not just abusive, but like narcissistic relationship, toxic relationships. So it's going to be a great thing coming up here. I don't remember the date off the top of my head, but it's coming up soon. So check out the link in the bio.
I think it's June 2nd. I want to say it's June 2nd. It might be June 6th. It's June something, y'all, at 7 p.m. But it's a co-parenting webinar. It's like literally, y'all, it's gonna be fire. Y'all say, look right here. This last comment right here. Look, y'all can download the NARC app. NARC app is in the Apple stores and also in Google Play Store as well. Mm-hmm. Ben has his own app where there's classes there. You can book one-on-ones and all the other stuff on there. They check it out. Download the Narc app. Go into your, like I said, you can literally go download it right now on your phones and whatnot. And Ben, like I said, he's come out with a lot of stuff, y'all. So
yeah, some of the new like sneak peeks, some of the new stuff coming out is going to be some exclusive lives for people that are on the app, where it's only going to be me and the people on the app. And so like being able to answer more questions one-on-one, and also like monthly Zoom calls that we're going to be doing with people on the app as well. So the Narc app is on there. So the co-parenting, I had to look on my Beacons page. So the co-parenting, how to keep your sanity with co-parenting with a toxic ex webinar is June 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So check it out. It's got some really, really awesome names coming with that.
That's literally who you're just talking about. There's you said, what's the date, Ben?
June 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern time.
We both got it wrong. We said the 2nd and the 6th. We both wrong. June 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look at the links in both our bios. There's a co-parenting webinar coming up with like there's a retired judge, co-parenting specialist, therapist. All the panel is going to be fire. So link in bio. Check out that co-parenting class. Follow Ben. Download the Narc app. You know what I mean? I should record all this BS and upload. You should have. Yeah. Sugar, thank you for the donation. We cultural narcissism is very, very it's it's in there. I could talk to you about cultural narcissism. I'll do a video tomorrow about cultural narcissism. I promise you. But yeah, download the Narc app, NARC. Check out Ben, rawmotivations.com, and like I said, follow me on all platforms. We're gonna hop off this thing though, y'all. I gotta get in the house. I got all my kids here.
Yeah, if y'all are around, I guess today's Wednesday. Gosh, this week is crazy. Yeah, if y'all are around, I'll be back tomorrow. So I'm on all 5 platforms on Thursday nights, typically 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be back tomorrow.
All right, perfect. So check out Ben, say Raw Motivations, Ben Taylor. Ben, thank you for coming on here, man. Next week, y'all, we're gonna be live again. We're gonna be on Ben's YouTube and Facebook channels. If you don't follow Ben on YouTube or Facebook and you want to ask more questions, we're gonna be on there lit doing questions and things like that. We'll have a moderator too, y'all. We have a moderator to get the questions in and out quicker. But like I said, download the app, NARC, rawmotivations.com. Check out Ben's stuff. And like I said, we appreciate y'all coming in here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Much. Like and subscribe to everybody. And
appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.